discovered this book a lot quicker, I would have recovered from anxiety a lot faster. This is the actual book, At Last Alive by Paul David, How I Recovered from 10 Years of Anxiety and Panic. Read my story of recovery, written by ex-sufferer Paul David. This book really changed my life when I had anxiety. I've been anxiety-free now for 7 years, and I had it for like 3 to 4 years or something. I didn't calculate exactly. Didn't know I was going to make videos and journal this and stuff. So I'm just sharing with you what actually worked for me in terms of overcoming anxiety naturally. And this book was a total game changer for me. Up until the point that I discovered this book, I think around maybe like 1 or 2 years had passed, where back in the day, like this is like maybe 10, 11 years ago, there was no information like this. There wasn't a guy called Andy making anxiety videos. There wasn't other people making anxiety videos. The predominant paradigm back then was like, you can't recover. You can only manage it and get better. Take medication. That's what the doctor said to me. And in that moment, I don't know, something just didn't sit right with me. And I decided that I'm not going to follow this doctor's advice and I'm going to find my own way. This video is not medical advice at all. I'm just sharing this for informational and educational purposes. But yeah, in that moment, I made a decision. And then I read hundreds of books, but I didn't quickly find good anxiety books. They weren't that common back then, So I was very much lost. I felt very desperate. I didn't understand why I was having these symptoms. It felt like I was going insane, like I was even going to die sometimes. It felt like, hey, this is me. I'm fully going crazy now. Bye-bye. Like, what am I going to tell my family? And, they're going to think I'm crazy and stuff. So if you have anxiety, right? Like it just feels insane. Maybe even physical symptoms. Am I getting a heart attack now? Am I blurry vision? Am I going blind? Like frequent urination? Like, is my bladder broken? Am I going to die or something? Like this is how anxiety sufferers feel, And probably you feel unique, but most people with anxiety, they have these feelings and thoughts and obsessions. And, so that's like the biggest challenge is to accept anxiety. And therein also lies the healing. And this book actually taught me that you have to accept the anxiety because what you resist persists and may even grow in size. Carl Jung says that. So most anxiety sufferers, and he shares that in this book, is it's like they have a broken leg. So the anxiety is the broken leg, but they're constantly like beating it and fighting it. And of course, it's not going to get better if they keep like resisting the anxiety, battling, Googling symptoms. Like, it's like this energy. It's like, that doesn't make sense. Like, that's what's promoting the condition. That's what's enhancing the condition is the very non-acceptance of anxiety, right? The very resistance towards anxiety. This resistance can take subtle forms, like even going on Google, going into forums, seeking reassurance, is all a form of resistance. And what you resist actually persists and may even grow in size, I'm just repeating myself because, I actually repeatedly read this book multiple times because I read it and I was like, yeah, this approach makes sense. I'm going to implement. Then a couple of days, maybe hours later or something, I was in the anxiety cycle again, the crazy thoughts, the crazy symptoms. I was like back in that loop, lost in the darkness of anxiety, the whirlwind of anxiety. I was like, fuck, I'm lost again. So I just like reread the book. I was like, okay, this makes sense. So then I started I don't know how many times I read it, multiple times, until it was ingrained. We live in this like dopamine society where it lacks depth. Like we're never going deep anymore. We're watching short form content reels. We're frying our dopamine, our brain. But if we actually go deep, I'm actually happy I didn't have, there was no shorts or reels back then. There wasn't that like crazy dopamine distraction we have now, which I think is actually one of the greatest challenges of humanity and also mental health. Like if you're constantly like doom scrolling like shorts and reels, that is not doing you any good with anxiety. That's actually making you feel more depressed and anxious, So I recommend if you have that habit to really let go of that habit and focus more on like reading books, going outdoors, going into nature, connecting with people in real life, socializing. Watching long form videos like this is totally fine, or even a movie or series. But please avoid the short term dopamine content because that just like fries your brain and will not help your anxiety at all, okay? So anyway, this book introduced the principle of acceptance. And also he talks about like facing fear, So the more you do the uncomfortable, the more you actually become comfortable. So most people with anxiety, they're waiting to feel better before they actually go out there, face their fears and overcome anxiety. And that's the wrong way to do it. You actually have to step into that version of yourself that is anxiety free and do the habits, or not the habits, the behaviors that that version of you would have. So that version would probably not avoid socializing, going to this event, I don't know what it is you've been avoiding, or this job opportunity or business or career thing, or the version of you that has anxiety right now, it's avoiding everything due to anxiety. The world has become a scary place. It has been colored by the darkness of anxiety, and everything seems scary for me. Even going to the supermarket, buying freaking breakfast was like, oh shit, I have to go to the supermarket. So fear anxiety. I was like, oh, people must know I'm insane and stuff. But I came to the understanding, okay, that I cannot keep going this way. I just want to introduce this book. Before this book, I was, to be honest, utterly lost. Then I read this book, changed everything for me. Now, I'm not saying only this book was the solution. There was a journey after that of reading other books as well. But this book, if you actually read it and implement it, it can really change your life, and it can put you on the path of anxiety recovery, okay? So it's acceptance, keep him busy, face and fear, So you have to live as though you're anxiety free. And of course, if you have a terrible day, then you can stay at home. Or if you go somewhere, you completely freak the F out, then you can go home, chill out, calm down again. But as long as you consistently face your fear in small incremental ways, like progressive desensitization, and you stay in there, even if you get triggered initially, it might even feel worse, but you're rewiring the pattern. You're going in there, you're accepting the anxiety, which heals it. Emotion is energy. Emotion, it just wants to be felt so it can leave the body. And that includes symptoms as well. They just want to be accepted. And then if you're in there, you go, you feel the fear, you do it anyway, you go into that situation, you get triggered maybe a lot, and then maybe it's like a social event, you just go there, like, hey, what's up? My name's Andy, nice to meet you. Yeah, where are you from? You just ask them questions. You don't need to talk about yourself, right? You just chat, and and even if you can't think of what to say, you just go anyway. And even if it's awkward, whatever, what do you want to feel like this for the rest of your life, or do you want to be free? Short-term discomfort over long-term discomfort. Use the suffering as a fuel for motivation to change your life. Like, I'm done with this. I don't want to suffer anymore. I'm good. I'm going to face some short-term discomfort, so maybe in a few months I can fully recover, instead of having it for years or decades, which doesn't make sense. If you want to hire me as your personal mentor or coach, you can schedule a free discovery call somewhere below this video. I've not only been able to overcome anxiety myself, but I've helped others overcome anxiety too. I have a bunch of testimonials that you could check out, So yeah, continuing with the video, if you implement these principles, then you'll find that you will eventually recover and get better. And you'll find yourself maybe even having improved relationships, improved career, your life might probably will change completely once you overcome anxiety. So definitely I recommend you check out this book. Order it right now if you haven't done it. What are you doing? And commit to reading it. And if you want to, I would love to know from you. Share with me in the comments. Once you're reading it, come back to this video, watch this video. Constantly remind yourself, because anxiety is so strong. You want to constantly remind yourself and train yourself to be aware. It's about mental health awareness and to implement the principles. Then eventually you'll recover. And yeah, if you like this video, also subscribe, give me a like, thumbs up if you want to. And also somewhere here, there will be another video probably recommended by YouTube from my channel that you can watch next that is most relevant to you. And I'll see you there, my friend.